Welcome to Red V TV, Saints Independent Supporters Fan Channel, as we continue our build-up to the 2023 season, and with 32 days to go until we face the Penrith Panthers in the World Club Challenge in Australia. It is the turn of St Helens number 32.
It's Ben Lane, and Ben is proudly sponsored by the Imperial Exiles Group.
Another youngster, Kev, Ben Lane. He's still 18 years old. He joined the club from the Halton Hornets, and he's progressed through our academy system, playing in the halves, fullback, and on the wing. Another player this year who will be looking to take his opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. Another Widnesian. We've got plenty of them in our squad this year, haven't we?
Can I just ask, is this stealth? Is this a witness takeover of St Helens led by Mark Percival in his testimonial year?
I think so. I think slowly but surely, because it's his testimonial year, he wants a team full of Widnesians. 100% got to be. You're right that this is a year that Ben will be looking to take his chance if he gets one. He had a couple last year, played out on the wing for a couple of games and did well. He looks to have pace, he looks to have quality. As you say, he can play in a couple of different positions. Came through as a standoff from Halton Farnworth Hornets. Has played fullback as well for the academy. Played wing for the first team. He's kicked a goal as well for the first team, which is another string to his bow. It doesn't look like the Saints website don't actually say that he's kicked for the academy or reserves. So I tell you what, him coming into the first team and at least having the nerve to have a goal and slot one over, that shows something about the lad's temperament, doesn't it?
It does indeed. He's a player known for having a safe pair of hands at the back, being quite skillful and pacey. So he can play across the back line, which in Saints squad, you know that we value having that little bit of utility, especially when injuries bite, and that could be a string to his bow as he looks to maybe gain an appearance or two this year.
Yeah, definitely, and it's telling that young Ellis Archer, who also played a couple of games for the first team, he's been released and he's gone back to Barrow, hasn't he? So they obviously see something in Ben in that being able to play six, the utility values there for him as well. Another young lad who can play in key positions and can affect a game. As you say, it's what Saints want to see. It's what Saints want to see for him to be able to slot into one or two positions when needed. You never know if he's playing and you see injuries happen during the game and he's got a shift position from the wing to half back or into full back. It's what's necessary this day and age. You can't just have players who play one position and can't at least have a go at another. Obviously, unless you're one of the world's best in a position like Alex Walmsley or James Roby. Then again, James Roby still slots into 7 from time to time.
I don't think he'll be doing it much this year.
That's fair enough. For Ben, I'll ask you, what do you think the best way of his development going forward is? Do you see him just playing reserves? Do you see him playing possibly a bit of academy if he's still eligible? Do you see him going out on dual reg?
For me, for a lot of the youngsters in this squad, a lot of it is going to be playing reserves this year, as we well know. Listen, there's 34 players with squad numbers. Only 17 actually can make the field on a match day. So for me, generally, it's going to be reserves. You hopefully get one or two games where we've made a cup final or a semi-final, and you can rest everyone. You just wonder how many times we'll do that this year, given that we're not doing the double headers over Easter anymore. So we don't have to worry maybe as much about player welfare. But I think Saints in any given year, there's always one or two games where we, shall we say, rotate the majority of our squad. Yep. And I think that's been pivotal in the last couple of years of being able to see youngsters and how they go, to see whether they've got a future at the club. And I think those games, I don't know how many people see it, but for me, being able to rest your bodies like we did against Castleford when we played all the young guns last year, when we did it in, I think it was the last home game against Toulouse. Those are the games where you're taking 80 minutes out of the legs of your first team squad, who can be held back, kept fresh, and have an extra 80 minutes in the legs for the grand final. So these youngsters are pivotal for the success of the club. I think Daniel, and he said Daniel Anderson then, Christian Wolf. Christian Wolf spoke about it quite frequently last season when he talked about the youngsters in the squad and just how pivotal they are in training as well, when they go 17 against 17 or 13 in training. To provide that match type atmosphere, experience, game for the squad, so that we're on form when we go into games. So yeah, a long-winded answer for you, Kev.
No, that's fair enough, because I think you touch on something there, and you say about post-training sessions, where that's how we discovered John Bennison. It's widely been said by a couple of coaches, Paul Helens and Christian Wolf being the main two, that the effort and application that John Bennison showed meant that they had to give him a chance. He didn't go and physically knock on anybody's door, but by turning out in training and acting like that was his chance, which it is every single day for these players, he's made them pick him. And that surely is the aim for Ben Lane this season. Absolutely.
And I think Paul Wellington spoke himself about John Bennison being that flagship for these youngsters and putting that application and the effort in, just so that they can't be ignored. But yeah, as we've said, those are post-training sessions. We don't build a squad purely to play Super League on a match day. In a given year, we build a squad that we can challenge our players in training as well. And these are these youngsters, and it'll only improve them as well by going against the likes of Alex Walmsley, or Ben Lane will face Tommy Makinson, Mark Percival coming at him down the wing and in our centre wing partnership. It's that culture that we've got as a club, and hopefully it continues for many years to come.
Definitely.
Right, I think, Kev, that is our number 32, Ben Lane, done and dusted. And we will be back tomorrow with yet another Rising Star. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And if you forgot that.